That's right here. This is my Play Cousins sweatshirt. This is the prototype right here, the first one. And at some point in the near future, there's going to be a link where you will go to click to buy some merchandise.
Yep.
Hopefully y'all like it. Hopefully y'all support. Right now, while we're early, in our setup and in our growth and everything, we appreciate all the love. Please subscribe, like, share, all of that stuff. It really helps out. It helps with the algorithm, helps us grow. We're not monetized yet, so anything you could do to support and help out, we seriously, seriously appreciate it. Thank you very much. Remember, we are all Play Cousins.
We just shine a light where they hide the grave. It's the Kalaj Dame Podcast.
I gotta find my damn Apple Pencil. I don't know where it is.
Man, yeah, grab another one. Life without the Apple Pencil.
Dude, it's rough.
Nuts. Yeah.
It's rough, especially because I have two iPads. I got the big boy like you got, and I got like the Mini 7 that I take around with me. And I use my Mini 7 as my camera when I'm streaming on Twitch. So yeah, I really need it for the tiny one. I could get away with not having it for that. I would prefer to have it, but the tiny one, you need it because your fingers that's the whole screen. So you really yeah.
I didn't even realize it worked with other iPads that weren't the Pro.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, you can work. I use it with the little mini. I got a Mini 7 and I got the Pro.
I got to get more into my technicals, man, because I don't know. Like, I got the iPad as when I was in school for engineering. I had notebooks probably like this thick with like 20, 30 of them, like stacks full of, you taking calculus and stuff.
Yeah.
Calc 2, 3, differential equations. It's like 2 math problems takes up like 2 or 3 pages.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So what
app you got right there for your notes and stuff? What is it?
This is Good Notes.
Good Notes. Okay.
Yeah, I think I pay maybe $3 a month or something. And this is actually what I got this for. So my original one was a 10.5 inch iPad Pro. I got
that's the what?
12.9.
12. Okay, I think that's the one I got. Yeah.
I got a Gen 3. So especially like for the audience, man, anybody like you want an iPad, I never buy them brand new. I never do that, pay $50 a month BS. I go on eBay. I get a used one in good condition. I buy from a seller with a whole lot of good marks, ratings, and pay $300-$400. And, for one that's relatively new condition. And I'm good rather than paying, $1,000, $2,000. But
I think my Pro was like, I bought my Pro, what was it, like $1,400 or something like that. It was crazy. But I went ham. I got the big boy. I put a lot of stuff, I maxed it out because, for what I'm doing. Yeah. I
dig it. I use Good Notes for keeping track of my notes. So all the way back to maybe 2020, I use it for work. I use it for music. I use it for basically anything. Anytime I have a meeting with someone, I open up a new file folder. It's all searchable. So it searches your handwriting.
Oh, wow.
As if it's like written text, like keyboard. It can translate. So you can write something and then it can like transfer that into printed keyboards. So
you could type something and it be your handwriting.
No, it doesn't go that way. You can write something and then change it into TypeScript.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, searches and they integrated AI into it too. But yeah, it's like 1,000 notebooks in here. Like all my school notes since when I first bought it, it's all in there. I can go back, re-reference, whatever. For work, it's a beast. So like every job that I'm on, every meeting with my boss or my team, I'm taking notes on everything. I'm writing down, doing math equations, all types of stuff. And podcast stuff. Everyone that I ever interview has their own folder where I take notes on what I want to ask and stuff that comes up. Any ideas, brainstorming. And it feels exactly like you're writing on paper. If you get what's this called? It's a matte screen protector.
Yeah.
So it's like friction-y a little bit. Yeah, it's amazing. But now that we done already started, we live. So I start off each podcast with my introduction to the person I'm interviewing. Right?
Okay.
So my introduction to you, and let's see how much of this you remember. I want to say it was either 97 or 98. I was working at Dairy Queen with me.
That's right.
My homie Reg, my cousin Rob, we was all working at Dairy Queen.
The one on center.
On center,
right by the what's the P3 now? It used to be the EBO.
Yeah.
P3, all right around. Whoa! This is wow.
Forgot about that.
I totally forgot that was you. This is bugging me out right now.
So
wow.
I remember at the time. Tonya brought you around because Tonya worked with us.
Yeah.
And you were dating Tonya. And I remember having conversations with her. Like, we met you. It was cool. I think, like, all together we had hung out or was around each other, like, a few times. And I remember Tonya telling me, like, my dude is a producer. And at the time, I was making music. And like I tell everybody, I had so much of an ego back then. It was like, if I heard someone else was making music, to me, it was like, he ain't making music like me, so it ain't nothing. So she would tell me, he was like, yo, he's the man. He, like, you don't know what he could do. He'll flip a Charlie Daniels sample. I'm like, Charlie Daniels. So I went home and I played some Charlie Daniels.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Was that the one with, the Devil and the Fiddle?
I forget. It's been so long.
It was something that's so crazy. And I'm like, let me try to sample this. And I'm like, there's no way he could flip this. I couldn't figure it out. So push past that. At that time in my mind, it was like, whatever, I don't care about little buddy. And
this is really wow.
I heard from someone. So I grew up in Hoodtown in my, we'll say, like relevant teen years. So from the age of like 13 all the way to like my early 20s. And Hoodtown, for anyone in the audience that doesn't know, is right near like Allegheny General Hospital, like that.
On the north side.
On the north side.
Okay.
So I was right up the street from Stediford's.
Oh man, I miss Stediford's so much. That was a spot.
So I would go to Stediford's like whenever, I would watch like BET or MTV, hot new single. New single came out. I remember when First of the Month by Bone came out, I ran to Stediford's, got the tape. When I started getting into vinyl, ran down there to get vinyl and stuff like that. I had heard somewhere along the way that the guy, and I can't think of his name, the guy that worked in the back of Stediford's, you were related to somehow.
We weren't related, no, but people probably thought that. You talking about Larry Funkster?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, light-skinned dude with all the P-Funk stuff in the back. Yeah.
Not related to him? So I had heard this story from other people.
Good brother, though. Real good brother.
Yeah, definitely a cool dude. I love Stediford's, man. Like, everything, it was a straight price, like $15 on your rap CD and or tape or whatever. I sold tapes in there on consignment where, I came out with my little album and wrote on it in ink pen, took it down there. I got 10 copies. I think it was like $7 back, and they put it in a little case. All the local rappers. Well, Stediford's was great.
Yeah, it was.
But I guess where I'm getting to is like my take on you, Orlando, is because for me, Buscrates didn't come till like a while
was later. Yeah, it was later. Yeah.
And of you and my understanding, because I'm hearing these stories like, oh, he's related to the Stediford's guy and he's making beats and all of this stuff. So let's start with your early career. Where and how did you get into producing?
I'm still recovering from the Dairy Queen thing because that's really was like, yo, that is you. But you mean like, as far as I started, like, how did I start making beats and stuff?
Yeah,
well,
like
first we gotta go back. We gotta go back a ways because like I was DJing like a lot of times before I started making beats. Now I do both, but back in '86, summer of '86, I'll never forget this as long as I live. And I finally got to tell this brother. I was at this place called the Dallas Club. It's a Kingdom Hall now. It's in Penn Hills. Okay. There was this thing, and Sly Jock, legendary local Pittsburgh DJ Sly Jock, he was DJing. He DJed for Whammo. He's the first person to play hip hop on Whammo. But I get there and there's like a dance contest And I go out there, I actually win the trophy for the dance contest.
Okay.
But I didn't care about that trophy. I was finna see what's up with them turntables. I make my way up there and he's playing records and I kind of like, them little kids, he kind of like, he's playing Word Up, Cameo just come out.
Yeah.
He's got it. He's kind of like had 2 copies of the record on. He kind of let me mess around with the fader. I was like, oh, this is crazy. So like, I got hooked on like, because I was always into music and records and DJing. Like since I was a toddler, I used to always go through my dad's records, and I was just born into it. It was just. But
right.
Fast forward some years after the slide jock thing, where I'm getting the tables. I was about 8 years old at the time, so it was. I think about 20. I was about 22, 23, something like that. Was when I finally started to get into production and making my own music, because there was this brother I used to run with. This brother, G-Man. He's pretty much the one who got me started, because I would always go dig for records with him, and he we would pick out records and we would pick out samples while he's making beats. And he was the one who was like noticed that I had a little bit of an ear for this thing and was like, bro, you should just get you a board. He was using the ASR-10. I think he had the EPS first, but then he went and got the AS. The ASR-10 also, by the way, if y'all don't know, if you were a Pittsburgh producer back in the late 90s, early 2000s, you had to have an AS. Everybody had the ASR-10.
Yeah.
G had the ASR-10. Joe Money, Yusef De Niro had the ASR-10. OAB had the ASR-10. So like ASR-10s, I was the one who ventured off into the MPC world. But
that's crazy that you mentioned Joe Money. We spoke about him a couple times.
Yeah.
One of the my influences that
that's an OG. That's a straight up OG right
I
there.
never actually met him though.
No?
Never.
Good brother, man. Good brother. It's an OG right there for sure.
I tell everybody I heard a beat where he flipped the Titanic theme song. And from that moment, I was an instant fan.
Yeah, Yusef De Niro, yep. Ime Alaquila.
Yeah.
He does film now, but he used to make music, and he was using the ASR-10. So like, I think I was probably the only person who I never used the ASR-10, but I did have, my first one was the EPS, which is the predecessor to the ASR-10. So there's the EPS. No. First was the Mirage. That was Ensoniq.
Could you sample?
Yeah, it was, these are Ensoniq samplers. There was a Mirage. Then it went to the EPS. Then it went to the EPS 16 plus, because the EPS was 12-bit. 16 plus was 16-bit. And then it went to the ASR-10.
So I showed you in the picture, I have an ASR-X.
The red one.
The red one, which is almost like a cousin to the ASR-10.
Yeah. It's got the same effects and stuff, right?
It does. I've never actually played with an ASR-10, so I don't know the differences. And I got it because it was significantly cheaper at the time. I think I got mine like 2000, maybe 2000, somewhere around there. I didn't like the drum machine feel of it. And then the pads.
The pads, yeah.
I was so used to the MPC pads and the soft rubber feel. And those pads are
clinky,
like hard.
Because I had a red one too. Yeah, they're real clinky.
That, and then...
What was the black one?
The black one, okay.
Because there was a red one and there was a black one.
Yeah, so the black one is the ASR-X. And I want to say the red one is maybe the ASR-X Pro.
Pro, you're right. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I couldn't remember for a second. Yeah. The red one was the ASR-X Pro. And it was real buggy.
Yeah.
The software was
very buggy.
Yeah,
the rotary encoders, they went real bad where, you turn it once and it's cycling through and reversing. And I've never actually made a beat on it. I've used it to create like a couple sounds. I remember, I want to say I sampled some stuff, and the thing for me that I understood about the Ensoniq ASRs were you were able to spread your sample over the keys. And that's what I used my ASR-X Pro for a couple times.
Yep. Because with the ASR-10, even like the EPS, like, I don't know if you remember, my first sample, actually, I'm lying because my first sampler, I didn't know it at the time, but my first sampler was the Casio SK1.
Okay.
But it was the realistic version, the radio sampler. It's the same as our keyboard, but it's essentially an SK1. And you play it back, but when you sample on an SK1, you can only sample one sound at a time. Like so, if you go, it'll go. It spread this, and the lower you went, the grainier it got, but the higher you got, it was like, because it shortens in length, or it contracts and expands. Yeah. But like you're saying, with the ASR, you could have an EPS even. You can have samples on each individual key. Yeah. You can, that way you can chop up the records and get busy like that.
So what I do now, I use SliceX on FL Studio.
Okay.
Where SliceX, you can import a WAV or MP3 file or whatever, and put it on different keys, spread it out however you want. Similar to the ASR, without the Ensoniq filters, of course.
Bro, we got to get you on the Serato sample. You got, if you use SliceX, Serato sample is the game-changing.
I have a subscription to it. And we'll get into it a little bit later. There's just definitely points that I want to get into. But shift back to your start.
Yeah. So I started making, so at EPS, I had an EPS, a cheap little turntable, and like a few crates of records, and I started with that. And I worked with that for a few years. Then sometime, I think it was either 03 or 04 is when I got the MPC 2000 XL, and that just... I've been an MPC guy ever since that, man. Just the feel of the pads, the immediacy, the way you can just like sample and cycle, the way you cycle through things, and and also the biggest thing for me with the MPC was having a waveform, because with the ASR and the other older samplers, you had a little tiny little LCD screen with numbers, and you had to, but it made me appreciate the MPC more because I relied on my ear. I didn't have the visual. I didn't have the waveform. So that my ear was so in tune that like when I got that visual element, I could always just like get right. Like if I sample a kick, I can get right up on that transient on that kick. And make that joint thump,
Yeah.
And then I actually learned a trick. I remember, never forget this. This cat named Steve Griff, DJ Out of Reach. He's the one who told me.
We cannot skip past that name. Steve Griff. Shout out to Steve. I'm gonna send this to you. That when I say that is my dude, that is my guy.
Oh, Steve is the man. Yeah,
one of my OGs.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, but like he showed me a way that you can actually get into the waveform even further. And if you wanted to get like extra granular with it, I didn't know that. He was like, you could, if you press this, you could see on the screen. It was crazy, So he's the one who showed me that little trick.
Okay, Okay, so you went from your getting into production and stuff like that. What I want to know is, I guess in those earlier days, what year was this? Like when you first started production?
I would say like 2001, maybe 2000, somewhere around there. It's a little fuzzy, but somewhere around that time. Yeah.
So in my experience, and I think I talked about this on the podcast before, like I started with like in the hood, where it was like hood rap, hood mixtape, stuff like that. And then there was this scene outside of like our little clique or circle of what we call backpackers, which was...
I was one of them.
Yeah.
I was one of them.
Was your Lone Catalyst.
Yeah. J Sands, J Rawls,
exactly. Strict Flow.
That's the term that they threw around for backpacker because it wasn't hood.
Right.
I mean, it was hood, but it wasn't like talking about like the stuff that like regular hood cats talked about. But yeah.
So is there a reason why... I mean, because to me, it always felt separated, like hood versus,
It did, and it kind of was in a way. But I don't know. I just kind of I found what worked for me, and I kind of just stayed in my lane because I grew up on, I came up different. I grew up on like the Pete Rock and the DJ Premier, and Large Professor, the Beat Miners. That was kind of where I was. So that's the direction I started to go when I started making beats, because that's the kind of stuff that spoke to me.
Like the raw,
yeah.
Okay, so in that same lane of like a DJ Premier, where he could produce for like a Biggie or a Nas or something like that. Like, have you ever had like any desire or like want to do that crossover and work with like hood type people?
I mean, I think for me, it's like, I kind of, especially now at this point, I kind of just do what I do. I stay in my lane. I do what I do, but I do like to venture out and do other types of things. And I even do other genres because, we'll talk about this later, but like I started getting heavier into like using synthesizers and like analog synthesizers, but which makes you really versatile because you can fit that into any genre. But I think, I guess it all depends. I got to a point where I make music and I just make beats and I'm able to just make music on my own, and I don't necessarily have to have a vocalist or an MC or anything on it. But I'm open to things.
Okay.
So they gotta be dope though.
Gotta be dope.
If you're gonna be on some hood stuff, you gotta be nice with it.
Nice.
You gotta be like Jadakiss or something. You know what I mean? You gotta be like, you know what I mean? You gotta be nice with that joint.
I dig it. Okay, so you start producing.
Yeah.
And you're producing. So I'm not sure how to articulate this question, but let me paint this picture for you. Maybe you can take it.
Yep.
So for me, my production started with, first of all, my dad was in a funk band.
Oh, yeah?
So I grew up,
Wait, who's your pops?
Divine Wind, Reggie Sims. I'm a junior.
Oh, you're junior. Okay, yeah.
So he, Divine Wind from Wilkinsburg. I guess in his high school days, a little bit in the 20s. That's how he met my mom. He played a bunch of different instruments. I grew up seeing like keyboards and synths, in the house leaning up against the wall and stuff like that. So it was interesting to me. And then at some point, matter of fact, it was Spuck. I walked in his house. He had a home studio, and that's where I seen his keyboards and drum machine and stuff. It was the buttons. It was the buttons, all the different things that you could push and knobs you could turn, and then to listen and sound comes out.
And then all the lights too.
Yeah. The lights. And then when you hear a dope jam that somebody made in their home studio, something that like gave you butterflies, like, oh, what is that? You wanted to play it over and over and over and rewind the tape and play it again. And that, for me, is what got me into producing. What was it for you?
I think it tends to be a natural progression for people who have a specific type of ear. Like if they start out DJing, especially like in the hip hop stuff, if you start out DJing, you're probably at some point going to try to cross over into like making, okay, I can play these records. Now can I make these records? So with me, with my ear and listening to records for so long and being able to like catch samples and be like, oh, that was dope. Or, listen like, oh, there's some drums right there. It was just kind of natural for me to go from one to the other. The transition was pretty much seamless.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're making beats. How do we transition from, I have this keyboard, Radio Shack keyboard or whatever I'm making beats on in my house just because I like to do it, to now I'm actually sharing it with the public to some format and eventually turn it into a career?
Because this is, once I started learning how to make beats and producing, and I started to get really good at it, I said, I really want to do this. When I started to get good at it was like, wait a minute, I got something here. And then I would play beats for people. I'm like, yo, this is dope. And that's the spark that led me to be like, you know what? I think I'm going to try this production thing. I'm going to get in. And it just gave me the confidence to keep going with it. And I grew. I worked one way. Like I said, it went from the EPS to the MPC. Then I went from the MPC to Ableton Live. Then I started getting all these synths. And I just kept evolving my sound. And I think part of it was when I first started making beats, I was very much heavy on the sampling, like very heavy on the sampling. And, obviously that's what samplers do, but the way I did it, I tried to be as creative as I could be with it without having to just say, oh, here's a loop, a 4-bar loop that goes here, and then just loop that. I mean, I did that and I still do that sometimes, but I felt like I needed to break out a little bit. I needed to push my sound a little further. So that's when I started learning how to use synths and stuff. And also, if you find yourself in a good situation, you might end up having to clear that sample. So if you got to clear that sample, and you don't know how to replay it or remake it or come up with something else on your own that's close enough to it, then you're kind of stuck. So that's what made me learn synths and things like that even more, and especially in creating a lot of the stuff that we would sample from the 70s and 80s. A lot of the gear that they use, some of the stuff that I actually use now. Like I have like a real, like a Fender Rhodes electric piano, clavinet D6, like Stevie Wonder we was talking about earlier. The ARP string ensemble, the mini Moog, like all the real stuff that people would use, but also some of the newer synths that have come out, and even my iPad. I incorporate everything. I don't forsake or separate one thing for the other.
Okay, so I definitely want to touch more on like the equipment and the creation process. Okay. I want to give you first another enlightened moment that I've had.
Okay, yeah, let's go.
So there's a moment where I see your picture online, and this is like years after, knowing you back in the Dairy Queen days. Right.
That was like 98. I remember that. Yeah.
So there's a moment in the 2000s, maybe 2010s, 15, somewhere around there. I see your name on like Facebook, and it's like Orlando Buscrates Marshall. I'm like, Buscrates has a vinyl album. I don't know what year it was, but it's like something, in 16-bit.
That was my first record, 2009.
2009, okay.
Yeah. I think it was summer 2009 that came out.
It was a vinyl album. As I'm seeing that, I can't remember if I read it somewhere or if it was in conversation, but somebody was like, oh yeah, he has a deal, with so-and-so, and he's producing for so-and-so, and he made a beat for this person. And instantly I'm blown away, like, he's like a professional producer now. And this is like me in my studio while I'm working, and I'm learning this stuff. And it's like he's actually doing his thing, because at the time for me, there weren't many people in general that were like putting out albums. Like we were doing mixtapes and stuff like that. There's a few people, like Spuck Johnson that released a CD and stuff. Not many people had vinyl. I know Spuck had vinyl. Almost nobody else did. But whenever you're getting some form of press or on the blogs, and this is back in like the 2010s, it was like, no, he's has some level of success relative to what I'm used to what I'm used to. What was that like for you? It was great. I think also for me, I think the thing that comes to mind for me was also that it was affirming, because I felt like I started to see all of the hard work and all of the, stuff that I put into it over the years started to started to come to fruition. Like, okay, starting to know who I am a little bit. As far as the vinyl thing, I think my mind was already geared toward like, I want to get something on wax. So I was thinking, my thinking is a little bit different from somebody who's like, I want to put out this mixtape. I'm going to press up a CD. I'm thinking, I want my joints on record. That's just like out the gate. Is there a specific reason for that?
Because I never left vinyl. I grew up with vinyl. My parents had it. I mean, I did buy tapes and I did buy CDs, and I used, streaming services or Apple and iTunes and all that stuff. But I never left the vinyl. So it was just always there. It wasn't something like a throwback or, that's cool, vinyl's back. Like, no, it's never left with me. So there was no way for me to go, okay, this is the new thing. This is the new thing. Oh, we're going back to this, because I was already here bringing it along with me.
What kind of demographic do you need to have to actually sell vinyl? Because I'm thinking in my mind, like your demographic has to be primarily DJs, where the average person's not going to have a record player in their home and they're like, hey, throwing out Buscrates.
I would agree that it's primarily DJs and record collectors, because, you have record collectors as well. They may not actually DJ, but they might just like to buy vinyl, and they might just like to listen to records. And so there's a thing. I think the problem with a lot of modern society is everything's on these streaming platforms, and you could just hit play. There's something special and immediate about having to get up and walk over to your record player and put the needle on the record and listen to it. There's an interaction that's different from streaming. You get the record, you look at there's artwork, there's a cover, turn it over. There's information, there's liner notes. It gives you the information on, what did he use on this? Oh, he used an MPC live, or he used a micro Moog synthesizer. There's information that you get with actual vinyl or even CDs. I think that's part of what's missing for me on the streaming stuff. Sure, you could go in and say, click the song, but it's just extra work. Whereas like the record or CD is just right there.
I feel like there's more appreciation in it. Like,
yes,
it's almost as if streaming and streaming services almost becomes like a blur in the background, like a piece of furniture where you just expect it to be there. It's so there. Easy to just click it. Whereas like with me, my wife, she doesn't actually call me a hoarder, but in the depths of her mind, she thinks I'm a hoarder, which accurately, I kind of am.
Show her a picture of my place. She'll know what a hoarder is.
Well, I mean, bro, you got to see my crib. So one room is nothing but music equipment. Where, kind of like yours, nowhere near as much, but I have, mixers, effect processors, keyboards, drum machines, turntables, computers to play it all. Another room is my electrical engineering stuff where
for work.
Not necessarily. It's more like for play. Me like tinkering and making stuff.
But there's your happy place.
Yeah.
We all need that, man, especially now.
Buttons, soldering irons, meters, all types of stuff. Another room in the basement is my wood shop.
Oh.
Where I have all types of, saws, sandpaper, planes, bench tools, all types of stuff.
I might have a project for you.
Yeah.
There's a synth stand that I want to get built.
I literally,
I'm sure
I had to make my own. Matter of fact, like I made these table legs.
Word?
I made them out of normal 2x4
These table legs are crazy. You made these joints.
Yeah, out of 2x4 that you buy from Home Depot.
Yeah.
Because I got the table and the table was real low and the chairs were real high and I had to raise it up.
Okay, so wait, I need to say this. This is a self-contained entity. He makes music. He has music equipment. If he needs a shelf or something, he doesn't have to go out and buy it. He can just go in his basement and build it.
Yeah, completely.
You're living the dream, man.
I wish. It's crazy because I want to do it more. I just don't have enough time. Right. And it becomes, like my wife says, hoarding to the point where I'm taking up all this space in the house with stuff that seems like I'm barely using, and it's just there, collecting dust.
But I mean, it's in your defense, you have a family, you have a wife, you have children. I mean, that could be space for children to play or something. I don't know, but I get it. When I live in a 1-bedroom apartment by myself, and so I can kind of just
like whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Like I don't even have a living room. You just walk in and it's just gear everywhere. Nice. And I got a tiny little kitchenette. That's all I need. And then my bedroom's in the back. That's all I need.
You know what? If I was like a bachelor, like no kids, I would literally have the same exact thing. It would be like a studio apartment. Yeah. You walk in, it's just gear.
Just gear everywhere. Yeah. Yeah. That's all you need. That's all I need.
I forgot where we left off. I'm gonna try to. I want to tap more into this gear thing though because I'm a nerd, self-proclaimed, proud of it. When it comes to anything technical.
Oh, you're talking to an even bigger nerd. So, we can have this for sure.
So, all right. What I want to know is what is the fascination or love, appreciation for the vintage sound?
It's the way you interact with it. It's a little different from, and don't get me wrong, I do use software too. I have a lot of software like synths and stuff that I use, but there's just that immediacy. There's that reaction. Like I can go home and turn on my mini Moog and I can press a key and I can directly interact with all the knobs and immediate gives you a feedback immediately. There's just something there. It's a real thing. It's tangible. The tangible aspect of having all these old analog hardware synths is just something to be said for that.
Huh. So, and I guess this ties into like my experience when I seen, Buscrates in the mid 2000s, and I'm like, wow. And I get this energy of like, backpacker type dude, but really into vintage sounds. And I'm not sure if you had your Moog at that point in time, but it was definitely like synth heavy.
2009, I probably had the Moog Little Fatty. Yeah, I had. Matter of fact, I remember my setup. I had a Moog Little Fatty. I had a Roland Alpha Juno 1, and I think I might have had a Micro Korg, and then an MPC 2000 XL. I think that was. And then I had if I'm not mistaken, I think I had an old Wurlitzer electric piano. Like a 200A. Yeah.
That's what I want, a Wurlitzer.
I had a Whirly, yeah.
A Wurlitzer? So for the people that don't know what we're talking about here, a Wurlitzer, think of...
Ray Charles, what'd I say? This is one of the first use of that. Yeah.
I was thinking of something more current. Charlene by Anthony Hamilton.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Or definitely Stevie Wonder used a Wurlitzer.
Well, some of his earlier stuff used a Wurlitzer, but he was primarily a Rhodes guy. He was a Rhodes guy.
Yeah. What song am I thinking of that was Wurlitzer?
I'm trying to think. If you got any rock fans, I know Supertramp used the Wurlitzer a lot.
Yeah.
You know what? The song Lauryn Hill did with D'Angelo on her Miseducation record. That's a Wurlitzer.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Fender Rhodes is definitely huge to me. Like, I kind of borrow like some of my dad's favorites. Like anytime he say, "Oh, we got to get this," is my favorite. So he was always pushing Stratocasters and Fender Rhodes off on me. The original Stratocaster, not the cheap one, made in Mexico. Nothing against Mexico.
No, it's a difference. There's a difference. Yeah.
Do you play any other instruments?
No, I just played like synths and keys and drum machines and,
Like, so when it comes to keys,
I don't have any like basses or guitars or anything, no.
Is there any like formal like piano training, or you just kind of go at it?
I have a very, very basic working knowledge of some music theory stuff, and I just take that and I stretch it out.
Right. Okay. And that's another thing. I don't know if it's the same for you, but for me, like I told you, I'm retired now. Before I retired, when I was heavy and I was producing like all the time, I gotten to the point where I was so well practiced that I was playing like really crazy stuff just off of like practicing, like by making stuff rather than being classically trained.
Right.
I probably wasn't doing, the proper form.
But the result is what matters.
Exactly.
The result is what matters. As long as, you're happy with the end result of it, it doesn't usually matter how you get there. You could, if you're trying to get to this point, you don't always have to go this way. Sometimes you might go this way and, it's just as long as you get there,
So, all right. We got this vintage analog style producer that's, in my interpretation, doing it for the art of it, right? The love of just creating. How does that go to a professional career?
I think it could go to a professional career.
For you specifically?
Yeah. Oh, for me specifically.
Yeah.
I think just...
like
having the experience and having been doing this for so long and putting out records and, your name gets a little further and further. The buzz on you spreads further,
So was it like, I'm making this, I want people to hear it. So like for me, it was, I want to sell my music. So I went out, I got a Alesis Masterlink and a CD burner and called myself mastering my CDs, started burning CDs, took a marker, wrote on them, went around, with cases and sold them for $10 a pop to all my friends.
The little thin jewel cases.
Yeah. Printed up sheets of paper with 4 little square inserts that I designed and cut them out, put them inside the jewel cases, went around selling them $10 a pop.
Right.
That was before the CD baby, and only thing we had, it was like disc makers and maybe something else, but you needed like $1,000, $2,000, $3,000.
Hey, you like Too Short selling them out the trunk. That's how it did. That's
you needed money in order to go to disc makers and stuff like that. So it was like, I'm gonna press them up my own.
Do it yourself, DIY.
That was my start. And then gradually it shifted as the internet came. I started putting it out more and stuff like that. But like, how was your motion to being professional? Like, did somebody hear you and call you like, hey, we want to offer you a deal?
Well, I did get a deal on this indie label out of Brooklyn back in 2019. Matter of fact, I did 3 projects for them, and the last one came out March of last year. It's a record called Altitude. We actually pressed it where I work now at my job at Hellbender Vinyl. We have a vinyl pressing plant here. I don't know if you...
Wow, I had no idea. That's crazy.
Right down in Lawrenceville.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm the lead QC guy there.
Nice.
I listen to the records as they come off the press. So yeah, my music is my life. It's quite literally my life. So yeah.
I'm gonna have to get with you. I had some ideas about I want to take all the albums that I've ever created, even the ones that are unreleased, and press up vinyl, maybe a short run of like 25 to 50. And just say, especially when the podcast gets bigger, like these are a special release, but like keep one for myself in the case on the wall, maybe 2 so I can play one and just distribute, a short run or whatever. Yep. But I feel like that kind of adds a completion to my career. It
gives you that completes the circle.
Yeah. Okay. So you get this deal. And you're releasing music. Do you have at the time, a manager, publicist?
Nope.
How's the business being conducted?
I think, since it's an indie label, they have a few people in house who, help coordinate all these different things like tours and, DJ dates and things like that. So I had a short tour run in 2020, early in 2023. I didn't get to finish because I ended up getting sick and then going to the hospital. I had a fever of 103. They kept me in there for 4 days. So I missed a few days, but
wow.
Yeah.
Well, how does a producer tour? What was the... Because
I can, I'll DJ or I could do beat sets with my SP404 sampler. I could, there's different ways to do that. Yeah.
So, okay. Touring. We're added to.
Merch.
Having merch,
yeah.
Okay, and that was a part of the whole indie setup and stuff. How do you get from there to now? There's major signed artists, underground hip hop, whatever, but major artists with deals that are coming to you or working with you, wanting beats and stuff.
Come on down. Let's talk. We work out the logistics and make it happen.
In regards to the people that you've worked with or gave beats to so far, was there some initial thing that somebody reached out to you? Or?
Yeah. It usually was to be somebody reaching out to me because I hadn't really had the headspace to be like, hey, I want to work with this person. Let me hit them up. I'm kind of I'm just making music. I'm just going. And then somebody hears me, is like, hey, let's do this. Or can you remix this for me? Or, so that's kind of how I keep it going with this.
Okay, nice. You know what? And I feel like this might be backpedaling a little bit, but I have to ask you this. Yeah. Do you consider yourself a producer or just a beat maker?
I can be both.
What's the difference to you?
A beat maker is someone who gets a piece of equipment, whether it's a sampler, a drum machine, or whatever it is, and they create the music. the producer is responsible for the overall vision of the music, because, you know, I can have my man over here making this beat, but as a producer, I could get him, pair him with this guitarist, pair them with this vocalist, and oversee the whole thing and just make sure it comes together in a cohesive manner.
I agree.
So
100%. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's what Quincy Jones is. Quincy Jones ain't playing no instruments on none of these songs. He's the brain. He's the producer. He's the visionary.
Right.
You know, all of Michael Thriller, all that stuff.
The one that put all the pieces together.
He was the brains behind all that, you know?
This is when, so recently, since Puffy's name's been circulating, I seen on threads people arguing like, oh, how is he a producer and he don't make nothing? And I'm like, he's literally the definition of a producer.
Well, you also have to understand too that producer in hip hop specifically carries a different definition than producer as the actual general blanket term for a producer. Because, you know, the producer in hip hop is the producer. He makes the beat. They kind of, you know, beat maker and producer in some ways
synonymous.
They're synonymous. Exactly.
Right.
They don't have that mindset to where like somebody could look at like a Quincy Jones or, you know, somebody like that who's not necessarily playing the instruments on the songs, but is just bringing it all together.
Right. That makes sense.
And for something really big, that's important.
Okay. I'll take that as a good answer. I'm listening to your music recently, I say within the past year. And in contrast to when I originally heard your music in like the mid 2000s, now it sounds like a full musical composition of, it's like an orchestration with like hip hop underneath.
Exactly.
But it's like, okay, so you spoke on a 4-bar loop earlier, right? Me as a producer, I've had the stage where you find a dope loop, just a dope section of something you want to sample. You sample that, you loop it, you put some drums behind it, and it's like, just that, I'll throw some strings on the hook, on the chorus.
Right.
And it just loops. And when someone says, hey, let me get a copy of that, what I would do is go on Pro Tools, take the 8 bars and just duplicate throughout, you know, for 3 minutes.
Right.
And drop in the strings, you know, every
where you need
16 bars and give it to them.
Right.
Where it's just playing all the way through. A lot of times now when I listen to beats, you know, from current rap that's out, pop rap, as I call it, that's what it is. Where it's a few instruments that drop in and out here and there. When I listen to your music, I'm hearing transitions. I'm hearing, you know, bridges.
Bridges, important. Yeah.
Like,
gotta have that B section in there, man.
I'm hearing, which a lot of people probably don't realize, the elements that Dr. Dre brought to hip hop. Well, maybe he didn't bring it, but I know him for bringing the hip hop. Of, it's like a musical composition layered with that raw hip hop. Where did that come from?
Exactly as you said. Just I think I've started to develop a need to be more, I guess, more expressive and have something that has a little bit more life to it, and something that has like a little bit, at least a little bit of evolution in the composition. Because I love to just like turn on one of my MPCs, get some drums going. Okay, we got that going. I'll jump over to my roots, play some couple of chords, you know. And then what I do now is like, I might find a certain type of chord progression I like. I'll play it and, you know, might loop it for like a few bars, but then like I'll have a different section of that same chord, but then a different structure, and just played it differently. Even little small changes like that bring a dynamic to your music. You don't necessarily have to go all the way over the top with the way you change things. Subtle little changes really, you know, because when you're listening to a loop, your ear is locked in, and then there's something else like, oh, the smallest change catches you like, oh, okay, this is different. And then you hit them with the B section with the, it's just, it's just, you're composing a song. You're not just doing a loop, Yeah. It's a different thing.
Yeah. I sometimes tell people, contrast is what brings the element out almost in any conversation across the board, not even music. So like, for example, the measurement of improvement, contrast. So like people, I'm better now. Like, you need time. I need something to contrast against it. That's what stands out to garner someone's attention.
You don't necessarily have to make it say you're better now, but you've evolved, you've grown. Yeah. You know what I mean? You've gotten past a certain point in your career. Okay, you've done it. You've done things this way for so long. Okay, let me try to evolve and see what else I can bring to the table. Yeah. And you just keep going with that.
Makes sense. Man, this is crazy. I feel like there's so many different elements to this, and so much that I want to dive into. It's difficult. This is probably the most difficult.
Hey, we can do a part 2 or some play. Ain't no thing.
Not even covering it all, but just keeping it in line, because the more topics we talk about, me as a nerd, like not even the podcast or the audience, I just want to know more about the musical, like the process, I guess. But to keep it in line, we'll definitely have to, I guess, come back later. Okay. So you did answer one question. You do have a full-time job in addition to your music career. Would you say it's a goal to live solely off of your music?
Well, I don't know how realistic that is in 2026. Well, I say that just because, things are so much different now, even than they were in 2009, because there's so many more people into it. There's so much, and then there's the AI aspect of it. They're trying to, it's putting a lot of pressure on yourself to just be able to do this one thing, and that's why I tend to wear many hats. I work a full-time job. I DJ. I make music. I do streaming stuff on Twitch. I do, I gotta keep it moving, man. I can't, because if I zero too much in on this one thing, what happens when that one thing doesn't work the way you want it to?
You gotta diversify.
You gotta diversify and adapt.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Guess that kind of makes sense. I mentally, I keep going to wanting to ask this other question that I don't know if you've noticed it yourself, but I've noticed almost a pattern of being successful amongst the backpacker type producers, where we have a Buscrates, we have a Steve Griff, we have a Achilles Soon, we have a Shay Cobain.
Shay, shout out to my brother Shay Cobain.
All of these producers, which
C. Scott, my man Charlie, C. Scott.
All my favorite producers, right, have some level of placements, major credits. Extremely humble, of course. Like everyone on that list, just very, very like loving, appreciative individuals, including yourself, but have all achieved some level of success that most of like the hood producers are aspiring towards. That,
because you know what, I gotta say this, and sorry to interrupt you, but I gotta say this.
No, you cool.
It's music. At the end of the day, whatever label you put on it doesn't matter. It's music.
Right.
If people come to me for the type of music I do, that's one thing. If they come to somebody else, that's not. But at the end of the day, it's music. The separatism of everything is when you back yourself into a corner and put yourself into a box and say, I only make this type of music. That kind of cuts you off from being able to be more diverse and pursue your path.
Do you think there's a different mental perspective with like the attack or the path at which you travel versus the other people? Like from where I'm sitting, and especially a retired producer and musician in general, what I see is you have which, we'll just say backpacker producers or whatever. Everyone
I used to hate that term so much.
My bad.
But I know, I know what you're saying. I let it go because I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
I understand. But I used to, oh man, he's backpacker. He's gangster. He's but I know. But I get I get your point.
And I really hate to create more of this whole separate
divisiveness,
division and everything. But just for sake of conversation, it seems to me like your side and the side that you're a part of, if we're speaking about this division, does it more off the love and the art. Whereas the other side is more about the money and attention and, fame and stuff like that.
Right. Well, this is the thing about music. If you're only doing it for commerce or for financial gain, you're kind of already at a loss from jump because you put this expectation on your art. And when you put so much expectation and pressure on your art, it can make you resentful when things don't go the way that you want them to go. It can make you jealous or bitter of people who are successful in this. And for me, coming from the other side of just like doing music because it's something that I genuinely love to do, people see that. People hear that. People can tell your intentions behind the music.
Right.
They can tell if you're doing a cash grab or if this is something that you really put your all into, put your heart and soul into. People can hear the difference in that. So there's something to be said for that.
Right. Yeah, I think, especially with my own career, it's not that I was doing it just for money, but money was a big portion of it. Like growing up poor and, not wanting my future children at the time to go through what I went through as a kid.
And I get that. That's real. That's real.
It was definitely a part of why I was doing what I was doing. And then to look at what was popular, to look at your Jay-Z's, your DMX and Nas, it was like, this is what you need to do in order to succeed. The concept of you do not need to be rich to be successful or financially stable, that did not hit me until I was about 35 years old.
That's the truth.
Like, for the longest time, there was no middle. It was
either this or that.
Right.
Yeah, it was a binary choice kind of. Yeah.
And we'll say from the age of, 17, 18, all the way to early 30s, maybe 34, 35, I struggled financially, jumping between jobs where some good jobs, some not so good jobs, selling CDs out the trunk. I was even selling bootlegs for a while, doing all these different things with this vision of, I need a mansion, I want to drive a Benz, I want to do X, Y, Z.
You were chasing the material aspect. You wanted the material rewards. You were seeing all those puffy videos and not necessarily realizing that that's just not reality for most people, especially for us. That's not our reality. It's a fabricated vision of one or two or three people's success. And you also have to consider that you have no idea what they might have went through or did to get to that level too.
Or even how real it is. It could be.
Or it could be.
Fake.
It could be faked. But it also could be, you know how this industry is, man. People climbing on each other's, climbing on somebody else's back to get somewhere and then flicking them off. It's a cold game out here.
And especially now with like the Diddy documentary, where we talk about the one producer, Lil Rod, and he's excited he's producing for Diddy, and he wake up the next day all sore in the bed with Diddy. And did you see that?
Oh no, I didn't. Oh gosh,
yes, stuff like that in the industry. Like people are just now hearing about it. I've heard these rumors and stories like ever since I was first, step foot in the industry around these people. And you're right, 100%.
And you know what else too? I think I think it's really dope that people, especially people who do music and who are artists or any type of art, do their art hold down a job and do other things to give yourself room to be creative. Because when you put that much pressure on yourself, I got to make a hit. Nothing's coming to you.
That's the thing,
man. And also, whenever you're able to do this on your own, it's yours. Nobody can control that. You want to make a beat that sounds like whatever, you can do it. You don't have to worry about the label saying, nah, man, we need something more. We need something more of this or something more of that. You have complete creative control in your musical journey. And that is above and worth more than any dollar that anybody could ever give me.
I agree. Let me play devil's advocate here.
Okay.
Which I hate to do, but I kind of love
Let's do it. Let's do it.
All right. I'm Kalaj Dame. Use my real self, but made up story. Kalaj Dame, grew up poor and I need money. I had years of watching MTV Cribs and, the finest, most beautiful women that I see on Instagram are talking about they want a man to give them money to go shopping, all these different things. And, I see some dude driving around in a Porsche and it's like, I want that. And I have baby moms flipping out at me about money, this and that. And from my perspective, most of my problems will be solved with money and my happiness and opportunities will be drastically increased if I have an excess amount of money, right? So why do I care about something that I can just create, like these golden eggs of art that I can just create whenever, like whatever. Here, I'll just paint another picture. You know what I mean? Like, you want to buy this for $10,000? Sure.
Sure, yeah.
Take this, give me my $10,000. I'll just make another one day.
I mean, I think for somebody like me to do something like that, I would have to really get into like compartmentalizing something. I'd have to really compartmentalize the thing because I'd even have to probably maybe want to make it under a different name because I'd be I would just be so embarrassed to like, but if it's going to bring me the money, I'd do it under a different name, take that money, put it into what I love to do.
Brand it so you can understand.
Absolutely. There's ways around, things like this, there's a strategy. Like, okay, if you like to make a particular type of music, or somebody wants something else from you, and you can make that something else, make that something else, but do it under a different name. That way you have your peace of mind and knowing like your name is not attached to that thing that you're not necessarily all that invested in.
Right. Yeah. I got a homie of mine. He almost like a brother to me, man. You familiar with Samaj Rega, producer?
Sounds slightly familiar. I can't say for sure.
I gotta introduce y'all. I feel like he would like instantly just be like a sponge wanting to soak up as much information as possible. Matter of fact, his style of production, he's like, I won't say he's finding his sound, but he's like on that path to where he's developing his sound a lot more. And I hear elements that you have that you create where like if I were to connect y'all together, he would probably tune his a little bit even more so, as he walks down his path.
Is he a younger dude or?
Younger. He's I don't know, early 30s.
Okay, yeah, so he's a younger dude.
Because 30-year-olds is like kids almost.
Yeah, that's crazy. Oh my gosh, that's crazy to me. I could have a 30-year-old could be my child. That's crazy to me.
That's crazy, but in addition to that, just the maturity level of speaking to a 30-year-old.
Yeah.
I would have never thought that I would feel and see the gap, the maturity separation of like, man, you're like a kid. That's the thing.
But also, we all grow at different rates and we all grow and mature differently,
True.
I had to do a lot of growing up myself over the last few years, just on some life stuff,
Yeah.
And I'm finding my way through things like, obviously, my mom passed last year.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
So, I'm dealing with that and just on top of all this other stuff, just And it makes you, when you go through certain things in life, it makes you really take a real good look at yourself and say, all right, what do I have to do now?
Yeah.
How do I get through this now?
Yeah.
You know,
I get it. Is that something where your art comes in? Is like therapy?
Abso-freaking-lutely. 100%. You need it. I need it. I feel better when I'm doing it. It helps me in my grieving process. It helped, I've had moments where I would come home from work or whatever, whenever I'm able to muster up the energy, I might just walk over to one of my synths and then just start playing around on it and just layering sounds, just sounds from, I'm basically playing, it's almost like I'm making a concert for myself in real time. Mm-hmm. It's just sounds. It's just like real ambient, chill, relaxing. And I'm just doing that for myself. Not even to make anything. Mm-hmm. Just something to kind of like, you know, center myself and calm my nervous system a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
Music really does heal. It really does.
So, okay, you touched on a good point for me. So me, like I told you, I'm retired, right?
Yeah.
I still have my studio. It's still connected. Matter of fact, I just connected it, like put everything together.
He's about to unretire, y'all. He's about to I'm about to get him out of unretirement.
We'll see, man, if you could do it. But I don't want to unretire from the business of making music. Like I don't want to do that anymore, at least not for myself. But I do want to create.
That's all you need to do. Just create.
My problem is, like you said, the you know, to sit down with your synths, your keyboard, drum machine, or whatever, and just play with it. Like what I used to do, I would find a way to create a new sound. So whether it was buying new equipment or just think of something crazy, a sample. I remember one time I was like, into the microphone, I sampled it, and I made like 4 beats just from doing that, like flipping it, changing it, throwing a filter on it.
Yeah.
And to come up with a new way to make a sound, and then you take that sound and play it a few different ways for a few different beats, right? That was like my lane in how I would create. Like, I don't know. I don't have that anymore. Now I listen to samples. So I go on Spotify, and it's so much harder. I don't know why, because all the music is there. But I'm searching for like whatever artist I could think of, you know, any band from the 60s, 70s, 80s. And I go through and I listen to a song and I like it, and I save it to a samples playlist. And it's like, it's too much. Now my samples playlist is like 800 songs. And it's like, where do I start? Which one do I pick? And then I try something and I can't find anything to sample. And you know what I mean? Like, as I explain this process, like, what would you do in that position?
Well, you have to also say my process is different. I still get up and go out and dig for records. I still get up and go out and actually buy records. So my process is different. My thought process is different. I don't. Right. Oh, and this is another thing. Speaking to what you were just talking about. Let's say, for example, like drums. I know a lot of records with drum breaks on them. I could go dig, or I'll even go out and find records with drum breaks on them. I got a little portable record player I take with me whenever I go. I'll just go shopping, listening to stuff. Even if it's not, I might listen to something that I might want to play in a funk set or disco set or something from DJing. I might want to have something to go look for some drums. But I always know where my drums are. I can just go to the record, put the needle on boom. I don't have folders of like in your computer. I don't sit and do that. That just seems like that seems time consuming for me.
Wait. So every time you make a track, you sample like new drums. So you find yourself sampling the same drums for like different songs?
Occasionally, but you don't have to, because I have so many records with drums on, man. I know a lot of them. So
when you make a track, do you not save like the sounds that you use and then use those same sounds for a new track in the future?
But here's the thing though. I might want to process them differently. It's not, whenever I sample a drum break, it's not going to sound exactly the same every time I sample it because I might process it different. I might have a little bit more punch on the kick. I might have a little less.
So you're processing into your sampler.
Oh, every time I sample drums, I do everything from scratch. All right, let's say we got these drums here. I got the kick on this pad, snare on this pad, the hi-hat on this pad. I'm going to this hi-hat pad. I'm taking the low end out. I'm taking the decay out so it's sharp when it hits. I'm doing this all every time I make a beat. Yeah.
So, okay. I always had this vision of like, when I'm making the track, sample like the raw sound into my MP. When the beat is made, drop it into, FL Studio
or Pro Tools or Pro Tools. Yeah.
When it's in there, then I mess with the EQs and the sound.
No, I do all that. I do that all before it even hits anything. I do that first.
Wow. Yeah. So you're really making art. Like you're really painting the picture.
From point zero. Yeah. Wow. I'm going to the shelf. I'm getting the record, throwing it on the turntable. Okay, I got the kick. Okay, I got the snare. Okay, and then I'm doing this. I get it in there. Then I find it. I sequence it, and then I'm off to the races. Yeah.
Wow, that is huge. Okay.
Yeah, and that's no diss to anybody who does that, but I just can't picture myself sitting there going, I need to find the perfect kick. No, I'm going to make the perfect kick from scratch. That's just how I do it.
Right. No, that's dope. Like to hear and understand, like get a different perspective on the process and stuff. That's enlightening. It actually may help me a little bit. I got a USB turntable that I just bought recently. I wouldn't call it portable, but it's not like my big DJ set,
right?
With the coffin and everything. So I got maybe like 2 crates full of records that I kind of go through. Every once in a while, I'll go to like Red, White, and Blue, Goodwill. And if something jumps out at me, I'll just buy whatever without hearing it or knowing what it is.
Man, these records are getting expensive, man. You better take that portable in there and listen to that joint before you take it home, man.
How big is your portable? Is it like a big with a plastic case?
No, I got a little Audio-Technica Soundburger. It's like this narrow. It's in my, actually got it in my bag. I think
you got to show me.
I'll show you here. It's a little, and it's Bluetooth. Yeah, it's a little, so you could be listening to a record or your record player's here. Oh, they're digging through some other crates. It so frees up,
Do you like put it on with the needle? And wow. Like in the store, they don't say anything about it? Don't you have to open the plastic door? Or is
I'm talking about if I'm going record shopping for like old records. Like,
okay.
New stuff is different. You kind of gotta, if you buy a new record, you kind of already gotta know what you're getting into. Yeah. But like if I'm just going to go to the record store or something, and I just take it with me and
see. I feel like if I tried that, I would be there listening to hundreds of records, like because that's what I do.
That's the point. That's the point. This is a ritual for me, man. Like I'll get up and go to the record store specifically to just be in there, just listening to the music.
Wow. And the owners, like, they don't say anything or get mad.
No, especially if you got a nice little healthy stack you about to buy, you good. I get up, man. Look, I be in. I remember years ago, back when God rest his soul, Jerry from Jerry's Records, when he was still, someone else owns it now. Chris owns it now. But I remember there's a couple of points where they were open from 10 to 8. I would be in there from 10 to 8.
Wow.
Just
in
the back in the 45s, just going.
45s too?
Oh yeah.
I got a small box of 45s. I've never, to this day, never found a sample on a 45. Not once. I don't know why. But, okay, that brings me to my next topic. And this is going to segue into a can of worms, I'm sure.
Okay.
We don't have to get into the complete conversation of it yet. I just want to know. Have you used Suno yet at all? No? Are you familiar with what it can do? So
I'm making the music. AI is not making my music.
So wait, the idea of creating your own 60s or 70s funk music to sample.
Why would I do that when I can make it myself?
So, well, okay. So, like when you
and I just feel like it just takes so much away from the process. The process is part of it. Everybody wants this immediacy. Oh, let's make a 70s style funk song about farting in a bowl of cornflakes. Is this? I don't know. That's not. Nah.
I don't like it.
Nah.
Interesting.
That's not worth my electricity bill being higher. That ain't worth it.
Dig it. I get it. Think of Metro. Metro Boomin. He did that BBL Drizzy song. Did you hear that? BBL Drizzy. I'll play it later. But the idea is you can have we'll say 70s funk song sung in the style of something that would be very difficult for one person in this generation to create on their own, where without Buscrates skills.
People want to take shortcuts, man. You can't shortchange the art. You can't shortchange. You there's no shortcuts in this.
Yeah.
You either in it or you not. That's just what it is.
And that touches on an element of the question I asked earlier, like the separation of like you from other producers, where it's like you're really into the art form. So like even hearing your pushback on this to me is like, that's it. That's the reason that like when you dive into your art that much, you become so one with it and you perfect your craft so much and become so good at it that eventually the people will come calling and, want your beats and want to book you and so on and so forth. I get it. Me personally, I was blown away. So what I did.
I just don't feel like I need a crutch, man. Like if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. It just feels so disingenuous. It just feels so, I don't know.
So that equivalent for you that you have, let's say these table legs, the idea of I can go even better, a cutting board for the kitchen, chopping up veggies.
Yeah.
I can go to Home Goods and buy one for $20 or $30. It feels so much more satisfying for me to take a tree that fell down in my backyard and make one.
Now you're getting it.
I get it.
Now you get it.
I understand. The problem
because
is,
you put so much, you put the work in on this.
Yeah.
And you get to enjoy the fruits of your labor.
The problem is,
you go pick something off of Suno, it's like, what am I even doing?
I don't know that I have that for music.
And people, but see, also, people have different relationships with music too.
Right.
For some people, it's just kind of like, it might just be background music, or it might just be something to do, or I'm gonna make some beat and I'm gonna get me some girls or whatever. I mean, people have different reasons behind it.
Right.
And that's fine. That's not me dissing about it, but that's not me.
I get it.
Yeah.
I understand. But at the same time, me, the person I am in the position that I am in and my relationship with music, I want to be more on that page. Like me interviewing, like having this discussion with you, I want to know and be able to dive into like, hey, what's your process? What's your love? What can you advise, explain, or express to me so that I can understand better and transition to a path that's more music is healing and therapy for me? Because I want that. I want to be able to look at music like it's my, woodworking. Right. Where, I'm getting...
Instead of it just being some commodity to be...
Something
or it's like a fling, It's like some people look at music as like a fling or a one night stand.
Yeah.
Me, I'm married to this shit, man. Like, I'm in this for life.
You know what? The only other producer I can think of, well, I know a few, but the main one I'm thinking of that's like that is Cynic Lethal.
Cynic Lethal. Oh, my man. Yeah.
So I remember...
That's a good dude right there. I know. Yeah.
He and I were in a battle, WUMP, Weapons of Mass Production.
I remember those, yeah.
And
did they do that at the Shadow Lounge?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so he and I competed in the championship round, final round. And that was like my introduction to him. And then I remember, I don't know if it was that battle or a different one when he battled someone else, but he had played dubstep for the first time. Like my version of, or my experience of knowing what dubstep was long before I like heard it on a big pop mainstream. Right. And I remember he was talking about it and he was saying how he had to go into each sound and, you know, create it and shift this and change that and all the filters and stuff. And to me, it was like, wow, like you're really digging into it like an art form.
He's painting a picture.
Yeah. And I don't know. I've done that to a certain extent.
He's painting a picture and he's not using generative art.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's yeah. There's something to be said about that, man.
Okay. I'm going to try that. As soon as I get some time.
No pressure, brother. No pressure.
I'm going to go in the studio and I'm going to hit you too. I'm like, bro.
Hey, you can hit me up anytime, bro. Yeah.
Like, bro, this is what I made from this. Okay. Local music. What is your relationship with local music in general, local artists, Pittsburgh hip hop?
Well, you know, I kind of live in a bubble now. It's not like 2009, 2010 was different because I was kind of, you know, out here with, you know, my people who I consider my peers now, people like Shay Cobain and, you know, so I felt like there was a bit of a scene that we had. And there was a scene prior to that, you know, our OGs, like we were talking about Joe Money and Ime Alaquiva and G-Man and all, you know, and you know, Jay Sands. So they had their scene, you know, then we had our scene. But after our scene, particularly after I moved to Atlanta, because Shadow Lounge closed when I moved in Atlanta. So I didn't really have a pulse on what was going on exactly. So it's a little different for me. First of all, I wasn't here. Then the biggest venue in the city for that kind of thing shuts down. So when those two things happen, I kind of just like off to, you know, wherever I was. So I don't really have a pulse on much because I don't know what venues or I don't have no idea what's going on.
So it's not.
We're older now too. So, you know, and a lot of people, you know, who grew up with me in that particular scene, they're older. They have children, they have wives, so they may not be as active as they once were. I'm still a big kid, but you know, that's different.
That works. We're supposed to maintain the youth to an extent, right? So you're not like, as far as your ear to the street, knowing like who's hot and who's relevant.
I have no idea.
No local artists like hit you up to buy beats from you or nothing like that?
No, because also I've been kind of quiet. Like I kind of go to my little corner and work. And then also considering like the last year and a half, whatever, it's just been so crazy with just life and, you know, like I said, losing my mom and, you know, trying to cope with that. I haven't really been out here like that.
I get it. So if a local artist would, like if they watch this podcast and they're like, yo, you know, search, listen, and they like some stuff and they like hit you up, yo, I want to buy a beat. Like, is that something you're open to?
You know what? I'm going to say this. The younger generation, I don't even really care what kind of, you know, like genre or whatever. I am always for building with the youth. I'm always about young people coming up to me, or I might learn something from them, you know?
So like the auto-tune.
I got to put this game somewhere, man. No.
Auto-tune rap where it's
no.
The fast mumble rap.
No.
And they talking about shooting somebody.
That's a little
drugs.
different. No.
None of that.
Nah.
What if it's someone that wants to do it but be more creative, like over some funk style music or something?
I just have a very serious audible aversion to auto-tune. Just hearing it. I'm so sensitive to it. I can tell when somebody's even just using it a little tiny bit to correct. My ear is that sharp. I can like, oh, yeah, that's Autotune.
Yeah. That was a thing, right? To where before T-Pain and I can't think of his name, the dude, the Pop Champagne, Ron Browse, I think was his name. Before him and T-Pain, it was used on a lot of pop songs.
Cher, use it in 1998.
Yeah. And my ears were tuned to it. I didn't know what it was at the time, but I knew it was something that was like, yeah, there.
It's always something when people take something that works and then they take it and run with it and just flood the market with it.
Yeah.
And it just becomes fatiguing.
I like it when it's used to actually sing a song. Like how T-Pain uses it. I like that. I don't like when people like rap, but want to rap with the melody.
Yeah.
That's nerve-wracking. There was something else I wanted to touch on. We'll get back to it. I have to jump around a little bit.
Okay.
So I was searching your social media just to kind of like do some research on what we could talk about. And I stumbled across a post that said something to the effect of the narrative of we want to avoid Spotify, remove your music from Spotify. What's your stance on that?
Absolutely. I don't use it. Well, first of all, these streaming companies are leeches. They ain't paying us. They ain't giving us no real money. You know what I'm saying? We put all this work into making our art, and then it goes over to there and we get like 0.000, like 30 zeros, one per player or something like that.
You get like barely $1,000 for 1 million streams.
It's ridiculous. Yeah. And not even to mention the fact that the dude who owns Spotify, he was I think they took him off, but they were running ads for ice.
Wow.
Yeah. So Spotify gets a gas face.
No Spotify. Yeah, okay, so no Spotify, no AI.
I won't say no AI. There's a difference. There's AI that can be a tool to assist you, and then there's AI that's just laziness. There's a little bit of a difference because there are some music programs that we might use that have some sort of AI integrated in it. So I'm not anti-AI like 100%.
Don't think for me.
Right. Exactly that. Don't think for me. And I think if, and this is a big doubt for me, but if it was able to be used in an ethical manner, that'd be there. But we already know how people in this world get down. Ain't nothing ethical about nothing no more.
Got it.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's yeah.
You know what? I just remember, I want to skip back to this real quick.
Okay.
It's something that I was dying to know. So you explained your process before you make a beat, right? Or as you're making it. When you're done with your beat, when you've listened to it.
When I'm done. Because you know,
exactly.
you know what I'm talking about.
Never done. I get it. At some point, you take this and whether you record it or save it, you do something with it to store it.
Right.
What is your process for that music? Like, what do you do with that at that point when it's done? Like,
this is a part of my process that I probably need to attend to this year. Because and I've been like this for a while. It's like I make some stuff, I put it aside, I'll do something else. I'm just going and going and going.
When you do that, is it okay? There technically never is done, right. But would you say these are like in the 90-ish% completion? Okay. Because I have a lot of
most of them,
30,
some
40%.
of them were not. Yeah, some of them might even be like a 20-10.
Yeah.
Some of them I might just have like some drums going.
Yeah.
Some of them I might just have like mini mode bass line going. Some of them might just be, it's.
So we'll say the 90% and up. What's next in the process for those?
I think for the 90% up joints, I think you got to listen to them one more time. I think that's where you make your final decision. Because when you get to that 90%, there comes a point in that process where you go, okay, maybe this could be done. Or maybe I just need to add like one or two more little things and then it's done.
So when it's done, is there like, okay, I'm submitting for copyrights. I'm sending an email out for people to listen and possibly buy it. Like, is there anything in that process that you follow, or you just leave it?
Well,
there?
not really. It kind of just sits there until it's time for me to do another project for myself, or maybe somebody else wants to rhyme on something or sing on something. I kind of sit it to the side, and when a moment comes, oh yeah, I can reach back to it. But even in that process, I'm still always moving and creating. So there's just I don't necessarily have like an organizational thing where it's like, okay, these are going to be for sending out to this, or which actually I should start doing, like, because I would like to get more stuff placed, like sync licenses for commercials, or because that's where the real money is.
Yeah, you know what?
That's where the real money.
We're going to touch on that right after this.
That's where the real.
So, and this is just a question. I'm just, as an artist and producer, I'm just curious of myself. When you say your beat is, done, complete, or whatever, are you saving it to your machines, or are you?
Well, I'm saving it to the way I'm working is like, I'm usually, because I use Ableton Live as my choice of workstation, digital audio workstation. Everything's saved there. I just save my projects to my hard drive there. So, what do you do with like your sounds on your disc? So like MP2000 or whatever. Oh no, you know what I do? You're probably gonna be like, what? So like, for example, there's a lot of records I did where I would use my MPC 3000 just for the drums or whatever. I basically would just track it out, cut the machine off.
And not save it?
Because I got the beat, I got the drums are in there.
That's right. You know what I mean? You rarely reuse the same drums.
Right.
So it's like whatever sounds that you
And if I want to use the same drums,
just sample.
I got them tracked out. I could just resample what I tracked out. Everything is there in some kind of way or shape or form.
So when you track it out, are you tracking like generally a channel or two at a time?
Well, the MPC 3000 has 8 outs. So I'll take 3 of them, kick, snare, hi-hat, track those out, add like maybe some little percussion elements or whatever, and then just build from there. When you do that, are you doing mono channels or stereo? When you do drums, especially for kicks, mono 100% of the time.
Really?
Always. Because when you start to try to do stereo imaging with kicks, you lose the punch. Because, you always... and I had to learn this some years back, but when you're doing drums like kicks and maybe even some snares, you want them to be mono, because that's going to be the driving force. That's the center of your track.
Right.
So you want that. If it's stereo, then you got the field sound is like all over the place.
So do you add like a stereo reverb on it afterwards?
I might put some reverb on like a snare or a hi. I don't really put reverbs on kicks. I kind of just let them,
There's some like Just Blaze. Just Blaze has, I don't know what he uses, but some level of compression and reverb that almost makes it sound like he's playing in an orchestra on a stage. Like the sound, the echo of it, it's almost as if I can hear when the mallet or whatever is banging up against the drum and bouncing off of it, like in the sound field. And that's my bad for nerding out, audience.
he picked the nerd. I mean, this is I'm sorry.
But yeah, there's to hear that level of it. Like, can you accomplish that with the mono drum?
Well, if it doesn't really matter what your source is, as long as what you're applying after it functions in stereo. You can take a mono signal of something and put
like stereo.
A stereo, let's say, for example, a stereo delay that ping pongs. You know, if your source can be whatever it is. It's just the only thing that matters in terms of stereo is what you apply to it.
Right. Okay. So, based on all this knowledge, would you say you do a little bit of audio engineering too?
I mean, you in a way, I never thought of that. I mean, in a way, in some ways, I kind of am like sort of micro engineering.
Like, have you ever engineered like an audio recording session?
For someone else now?
Yeah. Vocal, I mean. Never? Just kind of give them the beat and let them do their thing?
Well, I did a little bit. It's not my strong point. I'll say that. Definitely not my strong point. I'm all like, call you, hey, can you help me mix these vocals? Because I'm not used to mixing vocals because I'm always making music by myself and I don't sing. So,
do you? Okay, that's another thing. Have you ever, or do you ever make music with vocals over your instrumentals? Because I know you have like instrumental albums, right? Do you ever do vocals?
Oh yeah,
like on your albums too.
Last record I got there's 6 songs on it, and I could say 1, 2, 3. I think 5 out of the 6 songs maybe have vocals on it.
And you're like rapping or? Not
me, just like other people.
Well, no, I'm saying you specifically.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Man, I haven't rhymed on a record since the record I did with Divine 7, I don't think. That was like 2008.
Wow.
I'm working on something now, though, that I might have to rhyme on because my man was like, yo, you should get on this. I was like, okay, I actually got like 10 out of 16 bars written down. This is going to be fun.
Wow.
This is going to be fun.
Okay, process. So your process, you track everything out, record it out. Is there, well, let's say somebody hears it, you play it, and they're like, yeah, I want that. I like that beat. Is there a process of like copyright registering with like
ASCAP and BMI? Yeah, we work all that stuff out.
Is that like a pre setup? Like before you send out the track that for people to have it, you get all of that stuff done initially, or
it depends on who you're working with, and it also depends on like if you are dealing with a label, because sometimes the labels will handle, all that stuff for you. And that's kind of been my situation for these last 3 records. So I'm going to have to learn how to do this stuff on my own eventually. Training wheels are about to come off. So.
I get it. I can definitely, like if you need help, need to reach out or something, that's, it's a process. Some of it is really annoying. I'm a guy that doesn't like paperwork.
I hate paperwork.
And needing to fill out everything. So like, for example, I did a theme song for the podcast and, once it was done, you have to upload it here and register it there. And, you need the ISRC for this, but the ISWC didn't come back what you need for sound exchange. It's a lot, but.
Yeah, the red tape is real.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Broadcasting. Have you ever had like sync placements?
Yeah.
Like a lot, a few? How many?
A couple, nothing crazy. I did get a couple, but I mean, and it's nice to get that check in the mail.
Do you still receive checks for it?
I haven't in a while. I think that might have been like a
temporary.
Yeah.
How'd you get those opportunities from your indie deal? Do you?
I know people who are pretty good at seeking those things out. So like I said, once I get back into creative mode, like fully, there's definitely resources for me to be like, hey, I got this,
You mentioned another thing earlier. I just remembered, and this is going to suck, like jumping all around these topics. But I meant to ask this. Do you clear your own samples? Have you ever? Was that like just the indie thing?
Well, no. But see, the thing with the indie thing, there was no samples. I played everything.
So
it's something I might have people like play on the record with me. But everything is from scratch.
So you've never sampled anything that like needed clearance? Well, I'm sure you have, but like never put out commercially?
Right.
Something that needed clearance?
I think that's the thing. I did separate like the work that I did where I was like doing crazy heavy sampling. That was different from the stuff that I did from when I worked with labels. Because I didn't want to get anybody caught up in like sample clearance issues or anything like that.
Right.
And we get to keep all the money.
Right. Nice. Okay. Huh. That makes sense. So, any advice based on your label experience, record deal, any advice that you would have for an artist or producer that, you know, might have the opportunity to be signed or, you know, newly signed?
It's 2026. We have so many different tools at our disposal. We could do a lot of things ourselves. I guess as far as like the signing and everything, it all depends on how much help you feel like you need and how much you're willing to sacrifice. Those are all factors that are, you know, unique to each individual. If you want to make music and you feel like you want to get signed or you want to get, I don't know. It's rough out here now. It's rough out here. But and it depends on, you have to ask yourself what it is you want. What's your end game in this?
So like it could be good for some people.
It could be good for some people. Exactly. It could be good for some people. It could not be good for some people. It depends on the individual and what they want. And that's something that they would have to figure out for themselves.
Makes sense. I get it. Social media. How do you like it?
I hate it. If I wasn't doing music, I probably wouldn't even be on it.
I'm finding a lot of people in like my generation and up are just kind of like
over it.
Yeah, really resistant and reluctant. It's one of those, depending on what you do, almost like a necessary evil.
Necessary evil.
Yeah.
Especially in today's climate. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's how I guess, I think the thing that sucks about social media for me is just how much we rely on it to maintain some sort of visibility as artists.
Yeah.
Because I'm not in New York. I'm not in LA. I'm in Pittsburgh.
Have you ever needed it? Or has it ever contributed to like your career, selling albums?
Absolutely.
So,
it's been helpful.
In terms of what, like Instagram posts and advertisements and stuff?
All that, yeah.
So that helps you like with your sales numbers?
I mean, it's, you know, when I have an album coming out or something, I can, you know, you do the rollout, you do the promo and all that. Yeah, it definitely helps with that.
And that was all stuff done by like your label or you did on your own?
We both did it. There was a little bit of them, a little bit of me.
Okay.
It was a team effort.
Gotcha. You mentioned earlier you do the Twitch streaming.
Yeah.
What exactly are you doing on Twitch?
Playing records, man. Playing records. I had I run a stream on Twitch called Science Function, where I'm playing all like 70s, 80s funk kind of stuff. Yeah.
And you're just DJing, just playing original records? You never like play your own?
Oh, I do. I play my own records sometimes. Sometimes I even got hooked up to last night. I streamed last night. I was playing a record. I'm jamming. I got my headphones on. I take the headphones off, walk over to a synth and start playing along with the record.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. It'd be fun.
Is there a benefit? Like, are you getting paid for that?
You can. I mean, people definitely show up and, you know, they show up and, you know, support you on your stream sometimes. You know, you can.
Is that like donations? Or?
Yeah, they do like, there's this thing called like, if somebody subscribes to your channel, you know, you get money for that. Somebody throws these things, they're called bits. People throw bits at you, you know, then you get a hype train. You get level 1, level 2, and they accumulate and you get X amount of dollars for that or whatever.
So you're like streaming live and for people, you're doing your thing in your art and then people come and watch and, you know, whether they donate or do like the gifts and, you know, hit the buttons or whatever.
Yeah.
That like counts towards your income.
Yes, sir.
I got to consider that. I streaming live weirds me out. There was even a point where I was having talks with a few other people when I was starting a podcast, and they're like, you know, set up a phone or something, camera, and stream to Twitch live for the podcast.
You could, yeah.
I could. I don't know. It's weird. I got to get over the.
Bro, I'm telling you, you should consider it, man.
I got to get over the idea of even putting this out. I have the opportunity to edit, to look back at it and fix. Like I could switch cameras if, I don't like, you know, the way I looked or whatever on that angle.
Right.
And put out kind of like a filtered version of what I want people to see. For people to look at me live as I'm just doing something, I don't know, it's weird.
I don't know. It's kind of fun to me.
Yeah.
I got used to it. I started streaming on Twitch during the pandemic and all of that. So
you've been doing it consistent ever since?
I did it consistently for about 3.5 years. And then, you know, life started lifing and then I'd kind of tape. So this is pretty much me coming back.
And would you say you have like a decent following now? Like followers?
Oh, yeah.
Check you out?
I mean, I definitely was stagnant for a while because I wasn't on there as much because I was dealing with stuff in life. But yeah.
Is that from like your producer career or did you introduce
I think it's both.
yourself? Okay. Because,
you know, people do know me as a DJ. Some people do know me as a producer. Maybe a small contingency knows me as both.
Right.
And that's something I haven't really taken. I'm like, who knows me as a DJ and who knows me as someone who makes music? You know? And sometimes the worlds, you know, collide.
You should do a Twitch where you're making a beat.
I've done that.
You've done it?
Oh, yeah.
Do you ever
going to do some more.
I want to see that. Do you ever record it somewhere?
You know what? I did one a couple years ago for Serato.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, that was like a brand deal, like working with them? I have to check that out.
There's a few of them because I think I did like a few days. They're up on YouTube.
Yeah. Speaking of Serato, so I wanted to mention this. So I started with Serato, and my MPC Renaissance has stem separation now. I bought the upgrade, and once it had that, I'm like, okay, I don't need Serato anymore. I want to get rid of it. Would you say I'm missing out on like functionality or something by switching?
I think Serato's is better sound quality wise.
Stem separation? I could see that.
And also, and this is why I brought up Serato sample to you earlier, because not only can you like separate the, you know, certain stems, but the time stretch algorithm on there is unbeatable. It is by far the best you can get right now, as far as I know. Where you can stretch a sample to like, so like if you got somebody going like, you have to go, you know, and you can and it's clean. There's no like artifacts or anything. Yeah,
So you can basically take the exact tone and pitch of a vocal sample or whatever, stretch it over for a specific time. BPM or whatever, and make, you know, almost an identical song to the original sample or whatever, but like completely changed as far as your tempo.
Yeah. You can change the tempo without changing the pitch. You can change the pitch without changing. I mean, it's crazy.
I might have to check that out. Serato sample, okay. Yep. See, you're gonna get me back into it. I'm gonna have another.
He's coming back, y'all. Kalaj Dame coming back. Oh, and he's a lefty too.
Yeah. You're lefty?
Oh yeah.
Nice. That's what's up. Lefty.
Southpaw slinging.
Lefty nerd. I gotta keep in touch now. We gotta do some stuff. We got too much in common.
We do, man. I still can't believe, yo, that's Red from Dairy Queen, man. What?
Completely forgot.
Dang.
Man. Doom scrolling. Do you doom scroll?
I think we all do.
That was
I hate it.
Shameful guilt.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, I mean, just given the climate and what's going on in the world now, I think pretty much all of us are doom scrolling. It's like, what kind of nonsense is going on right now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Then you're looking at the comments and then you're like, yeah, that one. Yeah, no, that guy sucks. Yeah, it's
a thing, right?
But you know what? We all should give each other some grace on that because we're also in the dead of winter. But the minute that sun comes outside, you need to get off your ass and touch grass.
There you go.
That's what I'm talking about.
True indeed.
I'm like, you know what? It's 5 degrees outside. There's snow everywhere. And you know what? Once this weather breaks, think about that damn phone.
That is 100% a thing.
Yeah.
I seen a post on your Facebook, something to the effect of talented people trapped in poverty.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean to you?
It just means that there are some people out there who are immensely gifted and talented, and they may not necessarily get the opportunities because they're trapped in poverty. They don't have access to certain tools that could push them further in their pursuits. Mm-hmm. They might be a really, really amazing singer who has a voice of somebody like Stevie Wonder, but if they may not have access to even an iPhone, because you can do all your recordings in iPhone. So some people just may not have the tools that help them get to where they want to be. So, and then there's situational stuff too. They might just not have time for it because they gotta watch the kids because somebody else is at work, or there's so many different things, that can play out and how someone's life structures. And some of these things may disable them from being able to pursue their talents and their crafts.
So when you say that, I'm going to give you a little bit of pushback. And it's not because I disagree with you. Mm-hmm. I do disagree, or I do agree with you. Mm-hmm. There's a part of the audience that would argue against that and say, mm-hmm. I'll try to word it from my perspective. I envision that if Orlando Marshall did not have the luxury of being able to afford musical equipment, mm-hmm. it could possibly be an upside down bucket with sticks sitting on a curb somewhere playing the drums mm-hmm. magnificently while people were dropping $20 bills, whatever. Mm-hmm. I say that to say, when I hear stuck in poverty or not having resources to do certain things, sometimes in certain situations, I feel like it can translate into you got to brainstorm more for, possible workarounds, or maybe you can't do what you want to do, what you've seen someone else do, or what's the popular way of doing it. Mm. But sometimes you have to be more innovative and creative to create a different lane, And
there's definitely ways to, kind of like, I don't know if you ever heard about, I forget the brother's name, but somebody, I guess, had gone into an Apple store and just like made a whole record just in an Apple store, just messing around on the computer somehow, some way. I don't know how, but that's definitely one of the most creative ways that I've ever heard somebody. I mean, there's also things like, you could go to your local library. Mm-hmm. There might be resources there, but I mean, just sometimes it's not even it might not even be a financial restraint. It might be a time restraint. Mm-hmm. You might be working 3 jobs. You might have to, there's always something, Yeah. And again, each individual's situation is different. So
I kind of take that as, again, another reason why I created this podcast, as most people aren't practiced, not most, but a lot of people aren't practiced enough to know that, there's other opportunities, there's other resources, right. There's other things that you could do or avenues that you could take where, this is able to teach people, to show people there's another way. Mm-hmm. But even outside of this, I try to help people, to understand, to think that way, to think, in a more problem solving type of method.
Oh yeah, you definitely don't want to get trapped and stuck in the problem. I see what you mean. You don't want to get stuck in it and wallow in it and like almost like give up.
Exactly.
I see exactly. No, I see. But I mean, it's also, there are some circumstances that, some people may not have no other choice. Some do, some don't. It's hard to tell, and
you think
we can't really judge them either way. Their situation is unique to them, and people have different levels of capacity as to how they handle their things too.
So, okay, what would be an example of someone that has no choice? Because when you said that, immediately I thought about people in Africa that are
I be seeing those videos. They be killing it. Yeah.
Like just randomly make a water generator or something. From that.
Yeah, they be, oh yeah, those videos are great. Man, we're something else, man.
People?
Black people, we are something else. We are some of the most inventive. We find ways.
Yeah.
We do. Sometimes we do have that ability to make a way out of what appears to be no way.
Right.
Look at how hip hop was born.
And that's literally what I mean.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. But I mean, I guess it depends on how you're looking at the situation. I mean, some people, like I said, there may be time constraints, there may be financial constraints, there might be, I don't know, somebody could be about to go do something and they get snatched up and they get locked up.
Yeah.
There's you just don't know,
Yeah. So like there's definitely situations it's kind of like either this is for you or it's not for you. And, God, universe, however people want to put it, can say that just wasn't the way you were supposed to go. That wasn't your destiny or whatever. But at the same time, I think that, like I was saying in the ride over here, the whole concept of perception, your reality, if you believe that you're in a tunnel and you're trying to reach the light at the end, that's how it'll be in your world. Sometimes you have to shift your thought and your mind to understand that you can flip the switch. But
you also have to consider this too. Being in survival mode in life is a real thing.
Yes.
That is a real thing.
Yes.
So you might not even be able to, because all your focus is going to try to make sure you can eat, make sure you got enough to pay your light bill, make sure you're, so you're in this mode constantly, and your mind is not always primed for, other endeavors because you're so focused. You need all of your resources to focus on getting through the day, getting through the week.
That right there. That's actually a topic that's come up quite a few times here. How do you get out of survival mode? Is it just more money? More opportunity? Because and I mentioned this to someone before, Ray. So I interviewed my homie Ray, and he said that he believed the pandemic, when, we had all of the stimulus checks, he was like, that's the closest thing we're going to get to any, I forgot what the term is, but like pay out the
UBI, universal basic income.
No. What's the R word? I can't think.
Reparations?
Reparations. So the closest thing we're going to get to reparations is the stimulus check. And that's what he was saying, almost in a joking but kind of serious manner, where the whole idea was just kind of like people that are in survival mode will get money, and because they're in survival mode, they'll be wasteful. And
that's a real thing.
No matter how much you give them to a certain extent, they're still wasteful. I don't know how I want to articulate this, because
wasteful. What do you mean by wasteful?
Wasteful in terms of, I use myself as an example because I do it all the time. Let's just say income tax roll around. Income tax, especially when I was younger and made less and stuff. Remember one time I got like $5,000, right? You get this $5,000, instantly everything is available to you. And not everything, but everything within the sites for the most part that I want. And it's like, well, I can get rid of this 13-inch TV and spend $500 and get this 50 or 60-inch TV. I can now take, this old furniture in my living room, get rid of this, go spend $800 on some new furniture.
Mm-hmm.
I can buy my son this electric bike that he's been asking for. We're going to eat at, Red Lobster today, and I'm going to spend $100 and something on dinner because I got thousands of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
Before you know it, that money
was
runs
gone.
out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when I say wasteful,
mm-hmm.
Everyone deserves to have an opportunity to, enjoy.
I think what happens with that particular situation is having been stuck in survival mode for so long, having a hit like that, I think kind of gives your brain a break from that particular mode. It's like, oh, let's go do this. And you don't really get a chance to, it's a balancing act back on both ends of the deal, because on one hand, you're trying to survive, you're trying to do this. On the other hand, you get all this money, you're going crazy, ballistic, and you're unable to, have a healthy balance. Instead of saying, okay, I got $5,000. I'm going to take $2,000, clear out some debt, take maybe $1,000, whatever, catch up on utilities, and then take the rest. Well, not even take the rest. Take some of the other money, put it away, and then spend just a little bit.
Yeah.
Sometimes that doesn't automatically register.
Yeah.
You have to go through these lessons a few times before you say, you know what? All right, I got hit this time. Let me be a little bit smarter about it.
It's extremely difficult.
It's really hard.
Even for me.
We know. Yeah.
Okay. Like I anytime I get a large portion of money, no matter where it comes from, more than half of it is going to pay off debt, like school loans and, my car note, whatever.
Yep.
Like I'm not going to pay it off. I might owe $30,000 on my truck right now, but I'm going to put $2,000
something on it. Yeah.
So the idea of like that, when I say wasteful, that's what I mean. Not necessarily wasting, but just the concept of like.
See, going back to the wasteful thing, that also amplifies what we were talking about earlier, as far as like people being so materialistic. Like, okay, I want this Gucci bag, or I want to get these Jordans, or I want to get, instead of doing the other thing, which is a lot more just generally responsible and will get them in a better position in life in the long run. People are in different headspaces in their life.
Yeah.
And I don't judge either one, because I've been both people. I go out and buy stuff, and then sometimes I might be, we all handle these things different at different times, and some of us learn, some of us don't.
So I guess where I'm going with that is, you have the people in survival mode where, if they get 5,000, 10,000.
Shit, I'm in survival mode right now.
I mean, all of us is to an extent. Like I'm still, I'm trying to work my way out of it. But you got the people in survival mode, the ones specifically that, we'll say are financially irresponsible, relatively. How do you get out of survival mode? Or what advice do we have for people like that?
If you find out, let me know. If you find out, let me know, man. 'Cause I
understand that. Yeah, that makes sense. There was a concept about on Facebook where I asked everyone about gatekeeping. It's kind of like been an ongoing discussion, and this podcast kind of centers around it.
Okay.
You've had some experience where you kind of got to rub shoulders with some industry people, had your deal with the indie. Have you ever experienced a form of gatekeeping, or have you witnessed it? Like, do you think gatekeeping is a real thing?
I think it's a real thing, but I don't know. I guess it depends on what it is that is being gatekept. As far as anything musically, one thing I will say is I am not into, withholding information from people who are trying to like really, really do this and pursue this. If somebody, people know, if somebody says, oh, I bet Bus would know how to do this, or he would know this, or whatever, they come ask me, I'll tell them, I'll show them the way. Mm-hmm. We got to pass this along somewhere. We ain't going to be here forever.
Yeah. That's what's up.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all heard it. I mean, we're going to have a part two with Buscrates in the future coming soon.
Yeah.
That's dope. There's a book. You ever read Sapiens?
No, who wrote it?
Yuval Noah Harari.
What's it about?
It is about humans, basically, starting from the origins all the way up through now. One of the main topics that he kind of goes in hard on is social constructs. Mm-hmm. And basically, the whole idea is like we started from like this almost Neanderthal to cave people that, you know, we had this moment of intelligence and all of this stuff. And then we started to create. We started to farm our food. We started to create ideas. We took religion and then we bent it and we navigated as if social constructs were real things to where it's a part of society now. So you have like a corporation, which is an entity. You have money. You have, you know, vocabulary and words. We have these ways where we interact with each other through, you know, culture, society, and everything. And it's basically based on a belief system. And it's just all social constructs.
And a belief is not necessarily a truth or a fact.
Right. But it becomes true because
so many people subscribe to it.
Exactly. Where I think I asked somebody else this too. I was like, you know, we kind of all have an option where you could be a part of the system or you don't necessarily need to be a part of the system. Right. Of, you know, if I want to move my family to the middle of Nevada, somewhere in the desert, you know, live off the land.
Live off the grid. Yeah.
Off the grid. Then, yeah, I mean, that could be a thing. These social constructs that, and there's way too many to name a few. How do we navigate around the ones that are like difficult?
That's a very good question. It's a challenge because you know, I'm just going to say it, capitalism.
There you go.
Just, you know, so few people control so much. And they have access to things that we can only dream of, and they can manipulate things. I mean, the media, the news, they control the narrative. And since they control the narrative, we're all like little puppets on the string. And there's no way, at least not right now that I see, to where everyone can come collectively together and say, you know what? These people got to go. You're not my enemy. That, like, I have more in common with an immigrant than I will ever have in common with the CEO or somebody on something. I have more in common with someone who's trans than someone who is rigging an election or something. You know, it's they want you to believe certain people are your enemies when they're not. And I know they're not because I know some of these people.
Right.
And we've had conversations.
Right. Yeah, that's been a thing of mine where, you know, like I said, this podcast is more like a way to bring people together where, you know, across this table from me, I don't care if they're gay, Republican, rich, poor, whatever.
Right.
We're all play cousins. And the only thing I want to do is understand and try to identify where we compare, where we're alike. And it's always, to me, like there's stupid misunderstandings, stupid differences. But a lot of the times,
communication is key, bro.
It's communication. And it's where when you have a one-on-one conversation with someone, like a real down-to-earth conversation, it's like, oh yeah, I understand, but I feel this way because of this and that. But whenever it's not a one-on-one conversation, it's like hatred.
Yeah,
depending on who you talk to. Man, I don't like this dude. I hate that. And oh, y'all stupid and this and that. And it's like, why is it that, if we could speak one-on-one, if we could have a real conversation, how is it that we can connect and be brother and sister and, cousins or whatever else?
I'm going to tell you why. It's because you can get somebody, let's say, for example, you could get some Republican dude who voted for Trump. You could get him in the chair here and you can have a conversation with him. But the minute you get him outside with his echo chamber, chomping at the bit, talking all this nonsense, he instantly just by default becomes a part of that.
Do you think
people I get, but also to your strength, you giving them a voice as an individual is different from when he gets into his pack.
Right.
He loses his singularity because he's in line with everybody else over there.
Right. Do you think that there is a portion of that also on the Democrat side?
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
And they're both really, I would never fix my mouth to say like, oh, they're the same, nothing. Because if they were the same, if we had a Democrat in office right now, things wouldn't be as bad as they are now. I'll say that for sure. But generally speaking, they both are pretty much capitalists and pro, corporation,
Yeah.
I really don't think neither side really cares about people like you or me. But we already know that one side really doesn't care. They would rather see us eradicated. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely believe that money and capitalism drives a lot where I like to think about guys, owners, presidents of companies that I used to work for that, when you say, hey man, my kid is sick, and they're like, you still got to be at work. You know what I mean? You use all your PTO, so you're getting a point deducted or whatever. You're getting a written warning because you were 20 minutes late.
Right.
I had a flat tire. Well, these are the rules. Like, to look at it from the worker or employee's perspective is like, man, that's crazy. That's messed up. Me as a business owner, when I look at it from a business owner perspective, is like, I understand what the business owner is doing or trying to do. Like, I see the numbers that he's tallying. I see the conversation he may be having in his head. I don't know how moral this guy is, but I know the conversation of, productivity. If I let you get away with it, I got to let everybody get away with it. Like, there's conversations that correspond to that, those
it's
types
rough
of situations.
Because people who run these businesses and corporations, their bottom line is their bottom line. They don't factor in that real life happens. Right. They don't factor in that you might get a flat tire. They don't factor in that you might wake up with a 103-degree fever and need to go to the hospital. They don't factor these things in.
Right.
On the flip of that, there are people who work and abuse certain things. So it's really hard to get things to balance out.
Yeah. And I think, I don't know, that's difficult. And that's really why I want to, bring CEOs and business people on here to have these types of discussions, because like you said, to balance those out is hard when there's really abusers on both sides. Excuse me. And like you said, it's everywhere. Everywhere. I feel like because we're all guilty in some way, then we should all be able to sit down, have a conversation, hash it out, and, find the end.
It's also really difficult to have certain types of conversations with people who are, I guess, essentially stuck in their ways, brainwashed.
Yeah.
and don't really have the ability to revisit or maybe even change their mind once new information is presented. Mm-hmm. There's a level of cognitive dissonance in a lot of society. I mean, just look at what's going on now. I mean, you got somebody who's done some very unspeakable acts to people who can't defend themselves. And they're able to hold the highest office in the land with no consequences. There's something to be said about that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I agree completely.
It's crazy.
So let's shift gears a little bit. It's probably the final question. We're just pretty much nearing the end here. Okay. Based on my understanding of, situation of your life over the past year or so, I know it's been a really rough time.
Yeah.
We don't need to get into it in depth. I understand, and definitely my heart's still with you and your family.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Outside of that, outside of the trauma that, those life situations bring, just in general, do you feel you're successful?
I need a second for that one. I think, depending on how I want to define successful, because a lot of times people hear the term successful and they think in terms of material gains and possessions and things of that nature. Me, now that I'm older and hopefully a little bit wiser, when I hear the term success, it doesn't necessarily send me directly to anything relating to money or material objects. Mm-hmm. That being said, given the fact that I'm almost 48 years old, I've done some things. I have a place to sleep. I can go home and turn on some really nice equipment. I got lots of really wonderful friends and family who have helped me get through some of these things. I would say, by that definition, I am successful.
Nice. I like it.
Absolutely.
What
and with the way that my mind works, sometimes I don't get to really see it or experience it, because sometimes when we get in our own heads and then we deal with mental health things, like me with my own depression and anxiety and all kinds of different things. But when I'm able to actually sit down and lay it out cut and dry, I'm in the proper headspace to think and receive certain things clearly. I would say I'm successful.
Yeah.
I'm still 6 feet above the ground. Mm-hmm. That in and of itself is a success.
Right. Nice.
And it's a blessing, man. To 100%. Still be here through everything.
Yeah. Yeah. I dig that.
Yeah.
Okay. What's next for Buscrates?
What's next for me? Let's see. What's next for me? When the weather breaks, I'm gonna definitely be out here trying to get more DJ sets, do more shows outside, even just outside of the city. Mm-hmm. I want to travel more, put out more music.
Nice.
Yeah.
That is dope. That's pretty much our time. Hopefully we got to cover everything you wanted to go through.
Yeah, we're good, man. We could chop it up about some more gear stuff later too. Because we get into that mode. It's hey, I know you got a thing to do, but I'm this pad here. I'm
bro, look. As soon as I get a sec, I'm telling you, man, I'm gonna be hitting you up yo, Bus, I need to come through.
Come through whenever, man. Pull up. Yeah, I'm around.
That's what's up. Yeah. Hey, man, it's the Play Cousin, Buscrates. It's Kalaj Dame. You know what it is.
Yeah.
See y'all next time.
Peace.
Talking talking, but they never take the time. Truth in my chest, I don't sugarcoat pain. If you sitting at the table, you gotta show your face. Conversations deeper than the surface, we've been shown. Ain't here to sell a dream, just to show you what I know. Every voice matters, every story got away. If you living it for real, you gon' feel this pain. No scripts, no frames, just heart and time. If you listen close, you might change your mind. We don't argue just to win debates. We just shine a light where they hide the grave. It's the Kalaj Dame Podcast, where the real don't gotta broadcast. Every truth gotta pass. Every voice got a lane. It's the Kalaj Dame Podcast. Pull a seat, let the walls crack. If you ever felt unseen, you gon' feel your name. Yeah. From the block to the boardroom, same questions asked. Why we build so fast, we never heal the past. I don't play judge, I don't play your role. I just let you talk while the story unfolds. Bridging gaps, they pretend they there. Men and women trying to meet halfway, no filter, but respect stay intact. If it hit too close, that's a personal fact.